from an ignorant perspective is different than saying everything is meaningless after checking everything's meaning, you know. It's like experience. So you're like, okay, I've tried that, it is meaningless. Passion is meaningless, money is meaningless, the relationship, all of these are meaningless, because you are like complete in yourself. I mean, the God, when it's like you came out of womb, did you attest like, okay, I need like 8 billion people around me? Even if, you know, you are the only child in the world at that time, let's say, okay? So there is nobody else. Their mom and father gives birth to a child. And in giving birth, basically both of them dies. Let's assume the story. So the child is the only child. Will the child want to survive or not? Or will it be like, oh, I am the only human, I will die of suffering? So that's the basic, what you say, will of life to just like keep going. Because anyways, it's not in your control. So keep going. Like wherever, like the story has to end organically. So I was stuck here. I was like, the story cannot end inorganically. So is it this the organic ending of my story? Where should this story go now? I know it's all a story now, but it has to go somewhere. And I think maybe I was feeling a lot of energy because of like so much pent up like freedom, right? Mental space you get after you relieve, like, okay, the past doesn't matter, all of these traumas, that doesn't matter. And then you're like, oh my God, I was carrying such a big burden. So I tried different things. I was like, okay, let's see what other people have done. I was like, okay, this guy came, he wrote a book and it's like done. So it's like Buddha, you know. I'm like, okay, that's what he did. After understanding, I'm like, okay. So let me also just do these things, okay. Just tell it to people how it is, and just my role is done and I will be gone. But it didn't work. Because this is like a dark age. Nobody even cares about the words anymore. Because people lie all the time. So whatever comes out of my mouth don't have any kind of efficacy now. When Buddha said, everybody believed him. Because that time it used to happen very often. So the people will be like, yeah, he knows, obviously. Because so many people have also known, you know. So it's not like, it's like rare occurrence when you question yourself, like, oh my God. Then playing these like roles like son, brother, employee. So I kept going for like 1.5 years, I think now. I kept going. I was like, okay, let's see all of these roles. Maybe this is like my path, Karma Yoga. Yeah, you know, like just keep doing. Be a regular like salary man. Who knows? Maybe that's a very important role. And here we are. So in performing that roles, I realized something like very straight on my face. So in India, even when I say that I know the truth of the world, nobody even, either they don't believe you, I mean it's fine, or they don't understand you. But it's not like attacking, aggressive basically against you. Here if you say that, people will be aggressive. So I basically had like 3-4 aggressive altercations where I was like no provocation from my side. So I enter a shop to buy flute, and this guy is like, oh, what the fuck, your shit, are you coming in? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is this country, man? It's like people are like ready to just abuse you. It's like crazy. No reason, nothing. And these kind of injustice I knew. It's just like, it's in the world, it's there. But then I was like, it's fine. It will balance itself, because it has to balance itself at some point of time. Law only exists if they are law-abiding citizens. You understand? If, let's say, everybody starts being corrupt, everybody, then that alternate system becomes the system itself. Because there is no law anymore. Nobody cares about the law anymore. There is an alternate system of bribery which has come into existence. So that itself will become the fees or the system in itself. If everybody had started taking eye for an eye and death for a death, there would have been a lot of deaths in this world. Somewhere, someone stopped. And then I thought, I don't know, it's like, so I was like, okay, let's try this role then. Maybe this is my role, like a revolutionary or something. Who knows, life is mystical. Not like a revolutionary in that sense. It's like, so I am not thinking in terms of like all of this outside. I am very, like, my game I am playing. So I am thinking in terms of like, this phenomenon of like enlightenment, where you actually realize the truth. There is a sense of lawfulness that comes inside you. Like you don't need to be told like don't steal from outside. You understand? This is like a very common trait. Honesty will be the very common trait of enlightenment because you cannot be enlightened without it. Like if enough number of people in this world reach that level, and those people are occupying certain positions in the society, so now their lens is right now, okay? So they can see what is truth now. So they themselves won't do something bad. And the world itself will change drastically. You understand? It's like an invisible hand you are playing in the mind. And then I combine that theory with the realization that whatever I am saying or doing, in addition to the meaning which the language is carrying, there is a core vibration or there is a core energy I am emitting. It's like I am doing this vibration, right? Now you cannot make any sense of that. So you saw it as a pure vibration in a way, or you understood it pure vibration. But what I am saying right now, this you are understanding in terms of words. But it's the same thing. If you look at the energy map, it's the same thing. And that's where I felt like I kind of cracked that the energy in itself influences another energy. This is like scientific principle, but if you see it in real life, it means that you can sense energy. And that sense, how it is coming to you in form of intuition. And then I started reading my intuitive signals, and I was like, okay, this is what is happening. My intuition saying like, go and buy this. And I'm like, okay, go and buy this. So now just like sit and say all of this in a video. Then I'm like sitting and saying all of this. So now my task is, my task is, can I change the direction, the entire direction of the world in itself? Is that possible? So there are different planes of consciousness here. One is the mental game, which is the game of like economics, power, nuclear bomb and all of this, okay? The other is of like pure energy, in which obviously we have disturbed the system so much. Like how the system was earlier, like trees were doing something and we were like complementary to it. there was like a symbiotic relationship between us and the entire organisms or like the life around us, which is disturbed just by like global climate change and all of these, right? So one is that dimension, the dimension of energy. The mental plane is this plane. This is the story plane. That what can be communicated, what I am telling you, the story I am telling you. But there is something happening on the energy level itself, because even the thought itself is a movement of energy. So thinking some thought means there is a movement of energy in a certain way. Do you understand? Core pure physics. So it's like thought, neurons. Let's assume like this is one neuron, this is another neuron. What is a thought? Generally it is understood like an electricity current, right? So it is like and like thought happened, okay? So even a particular kind of thinking means you are emitting the energy in a certain way without the meaning. So you can influence the world happening in terms of just pure energy. You are already influencing basically. It's not like you can influence. It's like you are already influencing it. Like if someone draws the energy diagram or energy movement diagram of the entire existence around us, they will realize that it's like a continuum and we are part of that energy dance. You should try it. So that's my goal. I mean, I'm openly kind of saying that I'm trying to see if we can change everything in one shot. It's difficult, I know. But if you understand everything, or if you understand all the planes of existence, like energetically you can understand, mentally you can understand, the entire game, then obviously, why not? There is a possibility. It's like a very funny, like infinite possibility. It's like a very rare. So I'm playing, like taking my risk here. I'm not afraid. I don't think, like I'm very, very confident, because generally in life, whatever I have thought, like I've achieved already. In whatever state, I am like, okay, that can be done. Let's do it. You know, the problem with science is, the basic problem with their model is like they are treating the inside of human body as matter, okay, and the outside of human body as energy. What yoga does is looking inside the body as energy. That's why the chakras and everything, right? So that's the basically, if you just keep looking the body as a matter, then you will be caught in this problem of consciousness. Like, what is driving that matter? Who is the driver? What is intelligence? Where it is coming from? You understand? And that's what like science has caught up in, obviously, because if you treat this like model like that, it doesn't work. Anyways, I think it's like 15 minutes video, part 2 of the 18th episode. And yeah, this is basically about like my kind of like how